This is Andy Evenson, and thanks for asking me to be the judge for your Lasting Impressions show. I enjoyed looking at all the colorful paintings. We're in the midst of our Minnesota winter, so it was kind of a nice break to see all of your wonderful artwork. And in addition to choosing the paintings that would be included in the show, I also had the difficult task of being asked to award 6 award winners. And so this short video is just going to show the paintings that I chose, and I'll say a few words about each one here for you. And I'll start with the honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention goes to Secrets, and this painting speaks to the importance of a good title. When I was looking through the paintings and I saw this portrait, my initial reaction was it looks kind of like a mask, and then I saw the title and it made perfect sense. We're left to wonder, is the woman smiling because she knows something the rest of us don't? Or, is she wearing a mask of happiness to hide some inner pain? There's nothing that we can, really figure out just by looking at the painting, obviously, but at least it gets the viewer thinking and active in the painting. And, that's the sign of a good painting. Anytime you can make the viewer think. So I liked that one. This painting is nice. Secrets, congratulations. The second honorable mention goes to Crystal Cove, and I've painted at Crystal Cove, and this painting really manages to capture the charm of that place. Handled a difficult perspective very well. The drawing is very convincing. There's a nice recession created as the shapes get simpler and lighter in the distance. There's a lot of foliage in the scene, but it's not overdone. It could easily have become, very busy with the amount of trees and bushes and stuff involved in the painting. But they did a really nice job of simplifying it and handled it very well. So it's used more to define and complement the structures and not take over the painting. I love the little figures on the beach. The size of them is right. They're not overdone. A lot of times when people put figures in, they try too hard to make them look like people, especially at this kind of a distance, and it just becomes overdone and the scale is all wrong. So these wonderful little gestures are just a real nice little touch in the painting, and especially the dog. I mean, we know it's a dog. It doesn't look anything like a dog, but if the artist had chosen to labor over it and try and make it look like a dog, it probably would have become an eyesore. So very nicely done. So that's the second honorable mention. And we will move on to the awards of merit. And the first one goes to Reflections of the City. Before I even saw the title for this one, I was looking at this abstract, and I remember thinking it kind of looked like a distant city across an expanse of water. There's an excellent suggestion of this kind of a scene using an abstract approach. It's not your usual depiction of a city. I love those little dashes of paint on the horizon. If you zoom in on it, it doesn't really look anything like buildings, but when you view the painting from a distance, you kind of get that feeling. It's just the right touch. So very well done there. Despite being mostly sky and water, quote unquote sky and water in the scene, there's still an energy in the painting that's associated with a cityscape. The shape along the left side here is so important in the painting too. If you kind of block that off with your fingers, it doesn't work nearly as well. It almost becomes the whole painting falls apart. So it shows a good understanding of design too. Actually, if you cover up any of the dark little spots on here, you're probably going to have an issue of the painting kind of falling down. The design doesn't work as well. So nicely done. All right, and the next award of merit goes to My Turkish Friend. This painting is almost like a Japanese print in the way the forms are flattened. There's a nice simplification of shapes, but all the information that you need is there. Despite the oversimplification of the Turkish cat, it still remains the focus of the painting because of the high contrast, and obviously the man's gaze looking down at it also kind of leads the viewer's eye to the star of the show. So there's a real nice restraint in here. I don't know if the artist had that in mind, making it look almost like a print. But if that was the intention, they followed the plan very well and nicely. There's a good organization of colors and values here too. I'd like to point out it kind of shifts back and forth from the pale wall in the background here to the warm face, and then from that area it goes to the pale shirt, and then to the warmer arm, and then to the pale pants leg, and then the more intense green of the sofa, and then finally the light white paper cat. So that kind of back and forth, that juxtaposition of pale colors and warmer intense hues really works very well too. It's a good design here as well, so congratulations to this artist. Okay, we're going to move on to the Award of Excellence, and I'm giving that to August 2nd wedding anniversary. In this painting, I love the design, the organization of shapes, that mosaic kind of look to it. It's a very unique way of painting all these small shapes, and the use of the different types of shapes. It's not all just the little mosaic tiles. The shapes are different, describing the blossoms and the stems down here in the vase. The tabletop has a different pattern of shapes, the wall behind it, the fabric here on the tabletop. So it's really nicely done in that regard as well. And then you have these larger leaves that are more simplified shapes to keep, and this big space up here in the corner too. And that really keeps the painting, gives it some nice calmer areas and keeps it from becoming overwhelmingly busy. So those shapes are very important also. And then once again, if I take my finger and cover up that bright patch of red down here, it's almost a completely different painting. It's such an important shape down here to balance things off. It probably took a bold stroke to decide to put that in here with all the rest of these cool blues and greens and whatnot, but it really works very well. I like this painting quite a bit. Congratulations. And then last but not least, the Best in Show I am giving to Impressions of Joy and Peace. This painting really stood out to me as I was going through all of them in the show for its confident and fresh application of paint. It's got a good design, nice use of complementary colors, which always gives a nice energy to a painting when you kind of stick to that complementary color scheme. When I choose award winners, I look for a skilled application of paint, solid technique, design, all that stuff plays into it. And this painting really qualified in every regard, from that fresh, clean sky up on top, a lot of nice wet and wet merging of colors, obviously very skilled at handling the trickiness of watercolor as a medium, the convincing shapes of the trees. They're not too tight. They're just really nicely indicated, simple shapes. I love that. That's very well done. And then, at the end, using these beautiful little elegant descriptive darks for tree trunks without overdoing it. Again, that's key. Just putting in enough of those nice little darks and some scratching down in the ground plane here for some texture and variety also. So very, very beautiful painting. I think this artist actually had two really nice paintings in the show. So congratulations to everyone. Sorry if your painting didn't get an award, but congratulations on being in the show. Wish I could be there in person, but I'm landlocked up here in Minnesota. So hope everyone has a happy new year, and thanks again for letting me judge the show.